Thank you so much for having us. Ready, boys? A 1, 2, 3. Well, it was Saturday night on Beale Street. Old man singing the blues. He made the guitar talk. He did the duck walk. The two-tone wingtip shoes. He wore the midnight black sunglasses. Lord, they were the hippest shades I've ever seen. That old cat wasn't blind. He kept giving the eye to every little sweet young thing. I stepped over and asked him why he wore sunglasses late at night. He said, man, when you're cool, the sun shines all the time. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through that old rainstorm. Don't you pay it no never mind. Got a lot to do with the attitude. Oh, leaving these blues behind. When you're cool, sing it now. The sun shines all the time. Oh yeah. So look, I went out and I found me some wraparounds. I wear them both day and night. They've been just my size, they've been polarized. The future is looking bright. I'm beginning to see the good side of everything that comes my way. I've been stepping out of the shadow of doubt, and the clouds have rolled away. When I put on a new frame of mind, everything will work out fine. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through that old rainstorm. Don't you pay it no never mind. Got a lot to do with the attitude. Oh, leaving these blues behind. When you're cool, sing now. The sun shines all the time. Yeah, boys. The sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through the old rainstorm. Don't you pay it no never mind. Got a lot to do with the attitude. Oh, leaving these blues behind. When you're cool, sing it now. The sun shines all the time. Yeah, blue is now. You know you got the blue, you got the same. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. That's right, feel the love. Put your hands on the computer screen. Come on now and sing it. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. Thank you so much for having us. Ready, boys? A 1, 2, 3. Well, it was Saturday night on Beale Street. Old man singing the blues. He made the guitar talk. He did the duck walk. The two-tone wingtip shoes. He wore the midnight black sunglasses. Lord, they were the hippest shades I've ever seen. That old cat wasn't blind. He kept giving me young thing. I stepped over and asked him why he wore sunglasses late at night. He said, man, when you're cool, the sun shines all the time. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through that old rainstorm. Don't you pay it no never mind. Got a lot to do with the attitude, oh, and leaving these blues behind. When you're cool, sing it now. The sun shines all the time. Oh yeah. So look, I went out and I found me some wraparounds. I wear them both day and night. They've been just my size, they've been polarized. The future is looking bright. I'm beginning to see the good side of everything that comes my way. I've been stepping out of the shadow of doubt, and the clouds have rolled away. When I put on a new frame of mind, everything will work out fine. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through that old rainstorm. Don't you pay it no never mind. Got a lot to do with the attitude, oh, leaving these blues behind. When you're cool, sing now. The sun shines all the time. Yeah, boys. Oh. The sun shines all the time. You can shuffle right through the old rainstorm. Don't you pay it no never mind. Got a lot to do with the attitude, oh, leaving these blues behind. When you're cool, sing it now. The sun shines all the time. Yeah, blue is now. You know you got the blue, you got the same. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time. That's right, feel the love. Put your hands on the computer screen. Come on now and sing it. When you're cool, the sun shines all the time.
Welcome to the
Hey, he's here.
What, now? Okay.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's so good to see you. On behalf of Michelle, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the grateful nation, I want to welcome you all to the 4th Annual Obama Gala. We're gathered here on this historic day, just 3 days before my favorite day of all time, Taco Tuesday. You know, this year, I figured a virtual appearance was fitting because after writing a 700-page book, I was just too tired to write another letter letting you know I couldn't attend. But we really hope to make it next year. Right now, we're hunkered down here in my beautiful home state of Hawaii. Or, you know, as Donald Trump pronounces it, Kenya. Congratulations to all the award winners and everyone who made this night possible. Your families, your coworkers and friends, and all the unsung heroes who have contributed to the success of the Colorado Democratic Party. There is so much to be proud of this year, from a presidential win to electing John Hickenlooper to flip the United States Senate. Thank you for all of your hard work and determination. Change has come. Now, just this past week, President Biden golfed his first round since taking office. He debuted his new trick shot, where he hit the ball as high up as the eye can see, that it plummeted right down in the hole. He called it his GameStop shot. He shared great news about the economy, stating that unlike the Denver Nuggets, the economy will be rebounding this year. Look, it's no secret that you all serve as a beacon of hope for all and are a shining example that when you fight the good fight, stay committed to your goals, focused on individual tasks with synchronized grace, anything is possible. You are all national treasures. Oh, and I heard that the food is delicious tonight. And don't worry, they didn't cater from Lauren Boebert's barbecue. Thank you, everybody. God bless you, and God bless the Colorado Democrats. Oh, and live from Colorado, welcome to my dinner.
Welcome to the live cast of the 4th Annual Obama Gala. Blue is now.
In 2017, things were very different. With Donald Trump as president and Republicans completely in control of Congress, we had to regroup. We had to rebuild. We had to resist. Together, we resisted and organized. With the mantra of a blue future, we registered voters. We built a volunteer army to create grassroots change, and together, we made a blue future. In 2018, we won every statewide office, flipped the Colorado Senate majority, and grew the Colorado House majority to the largest since 1936. We flipped the majority in the U.S. House by electing Jason Crow to the 6th Congressional District, and we made history by electing Congressman Joe Neguse to the 2nd Congressional District. We defeated 100% of the Republican recalls in 2019, but we didn't stop there. In 2020, we built on that blue future together. We flipped DA seats, county seats, and elected a majority to the CU Board of Regents for the first time in 40 years and held our majority at the State Board of Education. Together, we defeated Cory Gardner and elected John Hickenlooper to the U.S. Senate, helping flip the majority of the United States Senate and taking the gavel out of Mitch McConnell's hands. Together, we decisively delivered Colorado for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and we defeated Donald Trump. We registered and turned out record numbers of voters. Together, we saved democracy. That blue future we dreamed about is now a reality. Blue is now. But the mission isn't finished. The Republicans are desperate, and they will literally say anything, do anything, and lie about anything to roll back Colorado's progress. We could lose everything we worked so hard for. We must vigorously defend the gains we made in 2018 and 2020, or we will lose them. We must re-elect Senator Bennett and work to grow a filibuster-proof Senate, expand and defend county seats, and focus on the key municipal, school board, and rural electric races that are up in 2021. Blue is now, and we've already seen that great things happen when Democrats are in charge. The American Rescue Act will create millions of new jobs, help get our kids back into the classroom safely, put money in the pockets of struggling Coloradans, get vaccines distributed so we can defeat COVID-19, and support small businesses so we can build back better. Under our Democratic trifecta in Colorado, we have cut healthcare costs, expanded civil rights, increased renewable energy, and started improvements on affordable housing and gun safety reforms. If Republicans win in 2022, they will roll back our progress and pursue the same divisive, insurrectionist, and fact-free tactics. They will continue their degradation of our democracy, our planet, and our rights. Failure is not an option. We want you to commit now to join us. Join us to make sure that blue is not only now, but the future. The blue future is a better future for all of us. Are you ready to do what it takes to win? Will you join us?
Oh, hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for the 4th Annual Obama Gala. It is amazing to be together with all of us tonight. I'm Morgan Carroll. I'm chair for the Colorado Democratic Party. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for sponsoring this event. Thank you for buying a ticket. This helps support our ability to win elections in Colorado. This is how we do everything that we have been able to do. I wanted to just take a minute and really thank all of the Obama Dinner Committee that has been part of making this whole event happen. And just to all the volunteers, to all the county party officers, to the state party officers, thank you so much for doing everything that you do as well. It is my pleasure this evening to get to introduce our Master of Ceremonies for this evening's event. And I think many of you know her already, but you may know Glo as Director of Public Affairs for Mayor Michael Hancock. You might know Glo as television anchorwoman who lit up our TVs in Denver and Atlanta. You may know her from her podcast on current affairs. You may know Glo from her community activism, her philanthropic causes, but we all know Gloria Neal as a beloved part of our community. Please help me welcome back for our 4th Annual Obama Gala, the one, the only, the brilliant, and the beautiful Gloria Neal as our Master of Ceremonies for our gala tonight.
Oh, thank you so very much, Morgan. Thank you. I appreciate that. It is so wonderful to see you, and I'll have to give you a little extra something for that beautiful, beautiful introduction. So good evening, beautiful people. Y'all look good tonight. And just in case you did not know it, even with any faux pas that may come your way tonight, we have a glorious night planned for you. It is going to be very entertaining. We've got music, we've got poetry, and of course, we have politics. And special guest speakers from every corner of the country. We're going to do this like only Colorado can. So over 4 years ago, we decided to change the name of our annual gala in recognition of our trailblazing former First Family. That would be former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama. Now that name change is just another symbol in our recognition of who the Democratic Party is today. And it is significant, it's unique, and like I said, we are setting the stage to move forward and let others follow behind us. But nevertheless, we want to be as one as the Democratic Party. And so we were the first and possibly the only state to rename our annual dinner after the Obamas, trailblazers, like I said. And we are led by a trailblazer. Who am I talking about? Well, may I introduce to you Governor and Democrat of the Year, Colorado's own Jared Polis.
Good evening, Colorado Democrats. I am so honored to join you tonight. What a different world we're living in since last year's Obama dinner. You know, last June, there didn't seem to be any end in sight to the global pandemic. But today, vaccines are being distributed to millions every day, allowing us all to look forward to a bright and hopeful summer. We've had over 180 vaccine equity clinics in all corners of our state, serving medically underserved Coloradans and communities of color. You know, last June, it seemed like it was every state for themselves when it came to saving lives and getting through the crisis. But today, under the leadership of the Biden-Harris administration, we have a federal government who is a partner, who acts on science-driven information that's working with us rather than against us. And it was less than a year ago that we were wondering if the crisis would unleash the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. But today, while many families are still hurting and there's a lot of work to do, but in Colorado, we've taken decisive action to help our small businesses, to provide housing aid to make sure that people are secure in their own home, to expand childcare support, and deliver direct payments to help Colorado families weather the crisis when there was a gap in federal assistance. And at the federal level, President Biden's bold American Rescue Plan not only provided badly needed relief money to families, but it'll help lift millions of children out of poverty, a truly historic piece of legislation thanks to Senator Bennett. But this kind of progress was not inevitable. It happened because we elected leaders with courage, boldness, empathy, and skill. It happened because the Colorado Democratic Party, and I'm included in that broad coalition of hardworking activists and volunteers and community leaders who call our party their political home, put in the work to send leaders like John Hickenlooper and Michael Bennett and Jason Crow and Ed Perlmutter, Diana DeGette and Joe Neguse to Washington. What a difference it makes. It happened because you helped give me incredible partners in the state legislature with Democratic majorities in both chambers, whose passion for making Colorado even better fueled so many innovative solutions to help Colorado build back stronger. That passion, that innovation, is reflected in our accomplishments of the last 2 years. A reinsurance program that reduced healthcare premiums across Colorado by an average of 20%. Reforms to lower prescription drug costs and stop out-of-network surprise billing. Real progress towards our ambitious renewable energy goals, and an amazing new state park, Fisher's Peak, in southern Colorado. A focus on equity at every level of society, from jobs to criminal justice to our schools, and a series of victories: full-day kindergarten, full-day preschool, paid family leave, that are making our state the most family-friendly state in the nation. But let's be clear, we have a lot of work left to do, and we have tough elections coming soon that'll help determine how much of it gets done. We've all been through a lot this year. We've suffered loss, we've lost out on precious time with one another. There were times when I'm sure almost all of us questioned whether or when things would get better. But today, there's so much reason for hope and optimism, for a brighter future. Let's not take that hope for granted. Let's keep working every day to build a Colorado for all, where every family can thrive, where everyone can share in our amazing quality of life. Thank you.
Leadership matters, no question. Good leadership can even save lives. Our next awardee has also saved lives, but in a different way. One of our Rising Star awardees, veteran and current state representative, David Ortiz.
Hi everyone, Representative David Ortiz here in House District 38. It's Littleton and the western parts of Centennial. And I wanted to thank you all so much and let you know what an honor it is to receive the Rising Star Award alongside my peer, first Muslim woman in the state legislature, Iman Judah. So it's great to be in good company. I can't thank you enough for everything that everyone has done in helping me get here. The vocation that I feel called to is serving others, whether it was flying helicopters for the Army, military service, resettling evacuees after Hurricane Katrina, and now getting the privilege to continue representing the people of the Rocky Mountain State, especially here in House District 38. This really was a community-led effort in flipping this seat and in doing the work. I wouldn't be here without you. It's amazing to see how individuals and the community can empower each other. It's about I am, we are. What an honor it is to receive this award. So thank you again.
I am because we are. That is the African philosophy of Ubuntu. It's a concept which emphasizes that we are all in this together, and together we will protect this democracy. Our next guest speaker hails from the same state as our president. Please help me welcome United States Senator Chris Coons.
Hi, I'm U.S. Senator Chris Coons from Delaware. It's my joy to join you this evening for the annual gala for the Colorado Democratic Party. I'm grateful to my friend Joyce Amico for inviting me and for your great Democratic Party chair, Morgan Carroll, for her leadership. 2022 is going to be an absolutely critical year. We're going to need to hold on to the Democratic majority in the U.S. Senate if we're going to keep delivering for the American people. And I know in Colorado you've got some great and important challenges: re-electing your governor, re-electing Jenna Griswold, your Secretary of State, and also making sure that you continue to support my newest colleague, John Hickenlooper. In 2020, we had a pretty tough election cycle for challengers to the U.S. Senate, and you helped send to the Senate someone with great experience and a good background, an entrepreneur, a mayor, and a governor, and John Hickenlooper's voice is going to be welcome and needed in the Senate going forward. But someone we really need you to support is my friend going all the way back to law school days. Michael Bennett is smart. He's balanced. He's a good husband and father. He is grounded in Colorado, and he and Susan are a great couple. I am so hopeful that you will support them enthusiastically, and I look forward to a chance to coming out to Colorado and campaigning for Michael and all the great Democratic Party candidates who are up for election next year. Thanks for your support, and thanks for what you're doing in Colorado to make our whole nation better.
Thank you so much, Senator Coons. You know, our next guest is only the second woman in our nation's history to hold the title of both governor and senator. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about? Well, let me just put it this way. I want you to pay attention to Colorado Democrats, because we cannot emphasize enough how important it is that we keep the majority in the Senate. Senator Hassan, no question, is up for re-election in 2022, and it is imperative, very important, that she returns to the Senate to help us keep that majority. So please give a warm Colorado welcome to Senator Maggie Hassan.
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you, Gloria, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I'm Senator Maggie Hassan, and I represent the great state of New Hampshire. And it is really an honor to be, at least virtually, in the home state of my friends, Senators Bennett and Hickenlooper. You have two terrific senators there, and I just want to echo what Chris Coons just said. We need to get Michael Bennett back to the United States Senate. And it's also good to be here too with my friends Senator Ossoff and Senator Booker and Senator Padilla, who you're going to be hearing from shortly. Also, congratulations to tonight's award winners. And Colorado Democrats, more than anything, thank you. Thank you for electing Senator John Hickenlooper last fall, helping flip the United States Senate and making Mitch McConnell the minority leader. The early morning and the late nights that you all put in last fall have made a difference, not just for all of you in Colorado, of course, but for people, lives all around the country. With the Senate majority, Democrats are making progress for the American people. We passed the American Rescue Plan, which is putting shots in arms, getting people back to work, helping families and small businesses pay their bills and build hope for the future, and getting students back in school full time. But we know we have more work to do. As you all know, President Biden has put forward his jobs and infrastructure proposal. And I want to talk to you about one of the key components of his plan, because it's about strengthening our caregiving economy, which is one of the issues that helped bring me into public service. My decision to run for office was inspired in large part by my advocacy to ensure that my son, Ben, who experiences severe disabilities, and other kids like him would have the same opportunities as their peers do. Had Ben been born a generation earlier, we would have been pressured to put him in an institution. But thanks to the availability of special education, of community-based care, and talented caregivers, Ben lives at home. He went to school, he made friends, he learned, and he's a member of the community. But for too many families, the promise of home and community-based care is just simply that. They are often unable to find or afford direct support professionals for their loved ones. And they face very difficult choices as a result, and our economy loses access to their talents and their contributions. So now in the United States Senate, your Democratic majority is working to change that. President Biden has proposed a historic opportunity to invest $400 billion to strengthen home and community-based services, to help ensure that families across the country can meet the caregiving needs of their loved ones while also building a future, holding a job, grabbing the opportunities before them to build a better life and to contribute socially and economically. We are making sure that when we think about infrastructure, we just don't think about physical infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways, broadband, but we think about the infrastructure that we all need to get to work, knowing that our loved ones are safe and secure. And we think about infrastructure that creates jobs, not just for people who build roads, but for people who care for our loved ones. Some of the workers in our country who are often paid the least and have the least strong benefits. They need an opportunity to build a better future for themselves and their families too. So I ran to make a difference for as many people who needed my help as I could. With Democrats in the majority, we are doing just that. And thank you, Colorado Democrats, because it is the help that you provided on the ground, day in, day out, getting John Hickenlooper to the United States Senate, and the work that you will continue to do, electing and re-electing Democrats statewide, including your terrific governor. That's going to help us continue to make a difference for all Americans, because as Democrats, we believe everybody counts. Thanks all. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you for the privilege and honor of speaking with you tonight.
Absolutely, and thank you, Senator Hassan. Want to make sure we get those names right. That is very important indeed. No question about all that she said and then some. We want to keep it rolling tonight. Our next guest beat the odds, helped turn the United States Senate, they say from red to purple. I'm leaning more, just even more so blue, but we will see. And of course, he helped clinch the majority in the United States Senate. I'm talking about an individual who I got an opportunity to spend some time with. That would be Senator Jon Ossoff. And by the way, Senator Ossoff, Charlie Frew told me to tell you hello tonight.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Greetings, everybody. Good evening, Colorado Democrats. Thank you so much for the invitation to address you this evening. It's a true honor. I got to give a huge shout out to some people who are serving Colorado with such distinction. I want to greet and honor Governor Jared Polis. I want to say hello to two people who are not just colleagues, but swiftly becoming friends, Senator Michael Bennet and Senator John Hickenlooper. And Senator Hickenlooper and I sit next to each other on the US Senate floor. And I know that y'all don't need me to affirm this, but please know that Senators Hickenlooper and Bennet are tireless advocates for Colorado, for the people of Colorado, outstanding public servants who again are swiftly becoming more than just colleagues, but indeed friends. I want to also recognize Representative Jason Crow, Colorado 6, and all of my colleagues and all of the Democrats who are gathered here this evening. Senator Hassan, great to see you. I understand we're also joined this evening by Senator Warren, Senator Padilla, and Jamie Harrison, Senator Booker. Y'all have pulled an amazing crew together to support and honor the efforts of the Democratic Party in Colorado. And I gotta say that a lot of this also has to do with the outstanding volunteers and activists that you have organizing your efforts in Colorado. And I want to give a particular shout out to Joyce Amico, who has become a friend over the last couple of years, who helped organize so much of the effort in Colorado to support me and Senator Reverend Warnock. And just to reflect on our historic victories in Georgia in January and express so much gratitude for the countless hours of phone calls, postcards, activism, fundraising, all of the volunteerism that was not just Georgians, but also Coloradans and people from across the country who were committed to securing those two historic victories. Who would have thought, y'all, a year ago, that Democrats would secure the majority in the United States Senate by winning 2 runoff Senate elections in the state of Georgia, sending to the United States Senate Georgia's first Black and first Jewish senators, and establishing the majority in the Senate necessary to pass the American Rescue Plan, which has delivered billions of dollars for Colorado public schools, as well as Georgia's public schools, the direct economic relief that we've been able to send to working people across the country who are still suffering with the economic effects of this pandemic, all of the investment in vaccine production and supply and distribution, which has helped us to turn the tide in this struggle against COVID-19. And I know that we are gathered virtually this evening, and I want to urge everybody to continue observing CDC guidelines, but also know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that if we stay disciplined and continue to follow those health guidelines, if we ourselves go and get the vaccine and encourage everybody we know and everybody in the community to get the vaccine, that we are going to overcome this pandemic and better days are ahead. And speaking of better days to come, and Senator Hassan mentioned this, we are working in the Senate right now on a major infrastructure and clean energy initiative. We have the power to pass legislation that will make a historic impact, unlike anything seen since the effort to overcome the Great Depression. We can make historic investments in transit and transportation, in clean energy, in an efficient energy grid. We can restore America's place in the world as the leading innovator in science and technology. We can make the United States the #1 producer on earth of clean energy. We can make America the leader in environmental sustainability. We can create millions of jobs while we do this, support a thriving, growing, prosperous, flourishing American working and middle class, It's the right thing to do, and we're poised to do it in large part because of your efforts in Colorado, because Colorado is represented by public servants like Senator Bennett, because you delivered that hard-fought victory for Senator Hickenlooper. I want y'all, and I know that this last year has been so difficult, but I want you to know and feel in your hearts the sense of optimism that is warranted at this moment. We have so much good work to do. The good news is we know exactly what needs to get done. We can build a society that values the dignity of every individual, that secures equal justice for all, regardless of race and class, that honors and dignifies work. We can live in peace on a clean, beautiful, healthy planet. We can turn the page once and for all on this period of darkness from which we are now emerging and continue working together to make a difference for our fellow citizens and for our country. And it is an honor to do it alongside you. I want to thank you all again for all that the work that you do. And from me and from my wife, Alicia, please know that we are sending love, support, and gratitude to all of you in Colorado. I look forward to visiting you in person soon. Deeply grateful for your efforts and your support. Much love and have a great evening. Thank you so much.
Are so very welcome, Senator Ossoff. It was wonderful to see you, and even better to see you get to the United States Senate, no question. So I have to say, because I want you to know this, you got to remember that not only is Senator Bennett going to be coming up, for re-election, not just here, but for re-election, but we also have to make sure that Reverend Warnock is returned to the United States Senate. Absolutely. So up next, our Blue is Now Blues Band. Colorado's Music Hall of Fame member, Chris Daniels and the Kings.
Welcome back. My name's Chris Daniels. These are the Kings. This is my good buddy, Mr. Freddie Gowdy.
It's time to get down, y'all.
Oh yeah, time to get up off the funk. 1, 2, 3.
Get up. Get off it. Get up. Get off it.
Here it comes.
Show up, make sure you got the funk.
My mama said to get up to the phone. My mama said to get off the phone. She said, Mr. Get up to the phone. She said, Mr. Get off the phone. Get up the phone. Get up to the phone. Get up on the foot. Get. Everybody get up. Get up off the phone. Everybody get up. Get up off the phone. Everybody get up. Get up off the phone. Everybody get up. Oh yeah, Moses. Woo. All right, come on out there, sing it, get it. Get up, get off it. Get up off the phone. Say it again. Get up, get off it. Get up off the phone. Say what? Get up, get off it. Get off it. Get up off the phone. Say it again. Get up, get off it.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. Our next guests include an awardee who started the local chapter of Fridays for Future, leading rallies every Friday to bring awareness to climate change. This year's Murphy Roberts awardee is high school senior Emmy Cooper. With young folks like Emmy, our future looks very bright, and we are so very thankful for all the efforts. Following her is a gentleman that has been improving our future for decades, Colorado astronaut John Grunsfeld.
I would like to truly thank everyone who has made it possible for me to do the work that I love and win this award. Catherine Carson, Mara Safami, and my entire fellowship team, who made the 2020 campaign fun while also incredibly effective and impactful. And, of course, the Colorado Democrats for recognizing me among these other award winners. Over the past few years, through my climate activism and fellowship with the Colorado Democrats, I have been granted incredible opportunities to learn as well as enact change within my community. When I started out in politics, I didn't know much, but I knew that I cared for our planet and that I had to act. It's extremely fulfilling to know that through the work of everyone here, we were able to recently flip the White House and the Senate. I also think that we keep proving to ourselves the power that youth hold. The majority of my political activism is focused on working with people my age, and I know that the youth deserve a seat at every table where decisions are being made. I'd like to sincerely thank the Colorado Democrats for continuing to uplift youth voices like mine.
Hello, I'm Colorado astronaut and scientist John Grunsfeld, or as President Obama called me, the Hubble repairman. Tonight, we're celebrating true democracy and also the 31st anniversary of the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope is perhaps the most significant and productive scientific instrument ever created by humans. It has peered back almost to the beginning of the universe. It has proved the existence of black holes. It has studied planets orbiting nearby stars. And it has shown us the wonder and grandeur of the cosmos. The Hubble is also the people's telescope. Anybody can use it. The Hubble Space Telescope is used by tens of thousands of people around the world to do their science. Most of the Hubble Space Telescope instruments and cameras were built right here in Colorado. The success of the Hubble is due to some core principles: leadership, teamwork, innovation, dedication, perseverance, hard work, and ruthless honesty. These same qualities are what we expect in our elected officials and form the core of the Democratic Party. The Hubble Space Telescope and all of our science programs represent the best of what our government can do for the American people. Good government, like the Hubble, doesn't happen by accident. It takes support from all of us. If we can launch a space telescope into orbit like the Hubble and service it with spacewalking astronauts like myself, we can do anything. We can solve issues here at home like climate change, gun safety, social injustice. Thanks all of you for helping to move us forward to a better world. Have a good night.
Did you know all that about the Hubble telescope? I certainly did not. Unfortunately, they really didn't go into all that detail when I was in school, but we won't go there. Our next two guests, well, they know about the Hubble telescope and then some. They've been helping improve our education systems for years. It's CU Regent and Colorado's own Senator Michael Bennett. Welcome them, please.
Hi, my name's Alana Spiegel, and I want to thank Colorado Democrats for your support and in helping us flip the University of Colorado Board of Regents and bring it under Democratic control for the first time in over 40 years. 2020 was a year for the record books. We had to be innovative in how we reached voters and approached campaigns. Democrats rose to the occasion. There was a lot at stake in the 2020 election, and the University of Colorado Board of Regents had been the last governing body in the state where Republicans maintained the majority. Now, because of your hard work in doing lit drops, making phone calls, texting, and supporting Democrats up and down the ballot, we've been able to elect more Democrats than ever across Colorado at the municipal, county, state, federal levels. For the University of Colorado, the state's third largest employer, that means we can now put our students and families, faculty and staff ahead of political and special interests and fight for more opportunity and inclusion at CU and inside our classrooms. Thanks so much for all you do.
Thank you, Chairwoman Morgan Carroll, for your leadership, and congratulations to you and all of the Colorado Democrats who were elected to statewide and county offices to lead our state party this cycle. I'm glad to see Colorado's statewide and congressional delegations here this evening, and I want to give a special thank you to my friends and fellow U.S. senators who are joining us tonight. It means so much to me that you are taking the time to help Colorado Democrats raise the resources we need to protect and expand our majority in 2022 and to make this event a success. Thank you to Senators Cory Booker, Maggie Hassan, John Hickenlooper, John Ossoff, Alex Padilla, and Elizabeth Warren for showing your support for Colorado Democrats tonight. Working with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, we've already made incredible progress for the American people, especially those who need help the most. President Biden signed the American Rescue Plan that included my and Senator Cory Booker's expanded child tax credit bill. It will cut child poverty this year in half and lift 10 million kids above the poverty line in our country. 90% of American children will benefit. 90% of Colorado's children will benefit. Half the children in our state will be lifted out of poverty. It's the biggest cut in poverty in American history. And now we have to do everything we can to make it permanent. Working with Senator Sherrod Brown, we also massively expanded the earned income tax credit for millions of childless workers, tripling the amount, taking the minimum age down from 25 to 17, and taking the cap off so our seniors can have access to that great benefit as well. This is all part of the same agenda to ensure economic security for workers and families. But we need to keep fighting. We need to keep fighting to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We need to pass common sense gun safety laws, to finally achieve universal health care in America with my bill called Medicare X, which is a public option to give everyone the choice to choose the health care that they would like. I hope we can pass my legislation to designate climate change a long-term public health emergency, pass Joe Biden's infrastructure and climate plan. The last thing I'll mention is the CORE Act, which is important to Colorado. It is the most significant public lands bill we've had in 25 years and would protect 400,000 acres. I keep telling Joe Neguse he's making me look bad. He's passed it 3 times in the House, and I haven't been able to get it past Mitch McConnell. But this is the year we'll get it done. I know people say 2022 is going to be hard, and we should be prepared for that. But FDR was able to add to his Democratic majorities in his first midterms in 1934. And the reason he did was because he ran on an agenda that made a real difference in people's lives. That's our opportunity today. And I, for one, am energized by the challenge. I look forward to working with all of you to protect and expand our majority in 2022. Thanks. Have a great night.
Hi, I'm David Porciastari, the Communications Director for the Colorado Democratic Party, and the Obama Gala is our annual fundraiser that is crucial to funding our WIN plan. But what does funding the WIN plan mean for my department? Well, funding the WIN plan means funding our ability to own the message in all forms of media. Whether it's the Sunday paper, the nightly news, or even on Facebook, the win plan is going to be crucial to ensuring that we can own the message so we can tell voters what Democrats are doing for them and to make sure that we can continue to elect Democrats up and down the ticket. Please continue to support the Colorado Democratic Party as you have done by coming to tonight's dinner. Thank you.
Hi, Colorado Democrats. Dave Young here, your state treasurer. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm excited about the work I'm doing on your behalf as state treasurer, and I want to share some of that with you. As treasurer, I manage the state's complex checkbook. The good news is, even through the financial crisis, your tax dollars are safe, and we're beating our benchmarks for the state's investments. In 2020, we returned a record $47 million in unclaimed property. As treasurer, everything I do through the lens of economic justice. I've worked hard over the past 2 years to improve the financial well-being of every person in the state. That's why I'm so excited to announce the launch of the $250 million Climber Small Business Loan Program. This program will support the smallest of small businesses in every county of the state that were impacted by the pandemic and the financial downturn. To learn more about Climber, go to climber-colorado.com. Now let's talk a little bit about retirement. You know, everybody deserves a sustainable and dignified retirement. We provide that opportunity for our dedicated public servants through PARA. I've worked hard over the past 2 years to improve PARA's sustainability, including a 20.3% return on PARA's portfolio. Now I'm working to stand up a retirement savings program for almost 1 million Colorado workers here in the state of Colorado that don't have access to a retirement savings program at work. That program's called Secure Savings. Look for more information on that as it launches over the next couple of years. Before I was treasurer, I was an educator for almost 35 years. We need to fully fund the needs of every student in this state, and we need to pay every educator the professional compensation they deserve. But we all know K-12 funding in this state is in dire straits, a $25 billion hole, almost the size of the state's budget. At the core of the problem, Tabor. We must work together to convince voters to reform Tabor so that we can move our state forward. As you could tell, I'm really excited about doing this work, and that's why I have launched my campaign for re-election as state treasurer. I'll be counting on your support in 2022. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Treasurer Young, and thank you for protecting our money and our public servants' futures. Let's take a trek, though, across our beautiful state. Our next guests have represented some of the more rural parts of our state. Rural Outreach awardees, the Honorable Bree Boyateo and State Senator Carrie Donovan. They will be followed by last year's Rural Outreach awardee, Colorado's own Congressman Joe Neguse.
Hello, everyone. I'll start with saying thank you to Morgan and her team for your ongoing commitment to make sure our party is inclusive, welcoming, and supportive. And congratulations to Bree. It's an honor to share this award with you. I wouldn't want to share it with anyone else. And I thank you for everything that you've done to help build a stronger rural Colorado. I'm really proud and humbled to have earned this award. Fighting for the people of Senate District 5 and all of Western Colorado has been the honor of my life. We're all Coloradans. We face similar challenges, and we'll work together to solve them. Thank you.
Nearly 4 years ago, when I announced my candidacy for House District 47, no one said that I could win. We knew that we'd have to organize neighborhoods across 3,000 square miles. And to me, it was all worth it because this is where I live. This is my home. This is where I choose to raise my family. We need to keep showing up. We need to keep the conversation going about our schools, our healthcare, our water, and really our way of life. It's been my honor to continue this fight over the last 4 years. Thank you so much for recognizing all of my hard work. Let's make sure that all of Colorado stays blue. Thank you so much for this incredible honor.
Good evening, Colorado Democrats. I hope that each of you are doing well and staying safe and healthy as we celebrate the 4th Annual Obama Gala. Though I wish that I could appear in person, it's a privilege to be able to join each of you virtually tonight. It certainly has been an eventful year since the last time that we gathered for the Obama Gala 12 months ago. And I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for all of your incredible work electing such great Democrats across our state, up and down the ballot. Thanks to you, we now have 2 Democratic U.S. senators representing our wonderful state and a majority in the United States Senate, as well as a Democratic House and a Democratic president in Joe Biden, who has brought civility, decency, kindness, and progress back to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And in just a few short months, Democrats in Washington and here in Colorado have delivered, from enacting a rescue plan that literally will lift millions out of poverty and help us finally crush the COVID-19 virus, to passing the most expansive public lands package in a quarter century, including my bill with Senator Michael Bennet, the CORE Act. It certainly has been a busy and meaningful few months, and we're just getting started. Because we know that there remain critical and challenging problems that we have to solve, and that we have to solve together, from the existential threat of climate change to the epidemic of gun violence. Just last week, I met with President Biden at the White House as he announced an initial set of actions to curb the tragic gun violence that continues to occur in our communities across the country, including here at home in Boulder. Put simply, Colorado Democrats, there's a lot of work left for us to do, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So today, I want to say thank you to the state party officers, to the local party officers, to the supporters of the Colorado Democratic Party, to the award winners for their service, and to each and every one of you for the work that you've done and the work that I know you'll do in the coming months as we work to elect Democrats up and down the ballot in 2022. Take care, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay hopeful.
Bree and Carrie have been doing the good work, and we are thankful. And somebody else has been doing some good work. Congressman Joe Neguse made us all proud as part of last year's impeachment team. He gave this country a tutorial on how to get it done. Honey hush. Thank you, Congressman. It is not often that ordinary people doing what they believe to be ordinary things get recognition. But our next awardee, one of the recipients of the Chair's Award, goes to one of our local super volunteers. That would be Vita Lance Brown. She will be followed by Congressman from California's 28th District, Chairman of the House Intel Committee, and husband to Eve. I'm talking about Congressman Adam Schiff.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to congratulate all the other honorees, and I want to thank Morgan Carroll for this Chair's Award. I am so blown away and so honored to receive it. I also would like to thank my husband, Deacon James Brown. Everything that I do, he does. The reason why you don't see me on camera is because I'm retiring from politics. Everything that I have done in the Democratic Party has been rooted in the principles of my faith. And I just want to leave you with this little scripture, 2 Timothy 4:7. I have fought a good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me a crown of righteousness. Good night.
Good evening, Colorado Democrats. Let me start out, as I always do when I speak to the core of our party, by saying thank you. Thank you for all the calls, texts, postcards, precinct walks, all the heart and soul you put into the work of progressive change. Thanks to you, over the last 4 years, I have gained great new colleagues like Jason Crow, Joe Neguse, John Hickenlooper, and so many others, Democratic majorities in both houses, and a wonderful Democratic president in Joe Biden. Thanks to you, Congress was able to pass the American Rescue Plan, speed vaccinations, help renters and the homeless, assist small businesses, lift half the children out of poverty. Think about that. When Republicans controlled everything, they used that power to give a $2 trillion tax cut to wealthy individuals and large corporations. We used our power to lift kids out of poverty. That should tell you all you need to know about the values and priorities of our two parties. The last 4 years have been tough, there's no doubt, but your voice and your vote is just what we need to move forward. It's also why Republicans have attacked our most fundamental right, on which all others depend, the right to vote. Republicans know they can't win on the strength of their backward ideas, so they don't bother to try. The big lie about voter fraud isn't some fringe theory anymore. It's at the center of the Republican agenda. In fact, it is their agenda, to disenfranchise people, and particularly people of color, and to gerrymander themselves back into power after they failed so miserably to protect the American people. We will not let them succeed. We cannot let them succeed. The fate of our democracy hangs in the balance. The last 4 years have shown us that democracy is not self-effectuating. It takes work, hard work, to guard against those who would seek to diminish it in the service of an unethical charlatan. You know who I mean. The moral arc of the universe may bend towards justice, but it does not do so on its own or by force of gravity. It requires us all to pull hard and to pull together. I have every hope and expectation that we will succeed. President Obama once said that hope is not blind optimism. It's not ignoring the enormity of the tasks ahead or the roadblocks that stand in our path. It's not sitting on the sidelines or shirking from a fight. Hope is that thing inside of us that insists, despite all the evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us if we have the courage to reach for it and to work for it and to fight for it. That's what you do every day, Colorado Democrats. You work and fight for something better, for universal health care, for the environment, against systemic racism and hate, for a brighter future. I'm with you, Colorado Democrats, every step of the way. So stay well, stay healthy, and once again, thank you.
Now, I was told that Adam and his wife Eve have heard all of the Adam and Eve jokes, so I'm not going to go there because, that's how people get in trouble. Although I will say Congressman Schiff was protecting our democracy in DC. Our next three guests were protecting Coloradans right here at home. The best attorney general in the nation, I'm talking about Colorado's Phil Weiser, he has been protecting our water and our air while simultaneously reforming our criminal justice system. Also, DA Michael Dougherty has been making sure innocent folks don't wind up behind bars. And President Garcia has been protecting our veterans from houselessness. Let's welcome them.
Hey there, I'm Phil Weiser, and I am so proud to be your Attorney General. We're living in a challenging time. We've come through a pandemic together. That's how we do things here in Colorado. And as we look at a new political season, we need to be vigilant. We can remember 2010, 2014. Those were years when we had a Democrat in the White House and we had tough elections here in Colorado. We have a lot of work to do together to defend our democracy. And my job as the people's lawyer is to protect people, the rights of all Coloradans, consumers, as citizens, and yes, as voters. We also have work to do to improve our criminal justice system. We've seen that over the last year, and we've worked to do that with model legislation, with teamwork that will build a law enforcement worthy of our trust, that will treat people fairly and protect our public safety. We in Colorado are committed to protecting our land, air, and water. Climate change is having a toll on our water here in Colorado. And in Colorado, our water is life for our outdoor rec economy, for our agricultural communities, and for all of us. And we're all in to do that work. We have important work to do, and we have to do it our Colorado way, which is together, thinking about everybody, to making sure people aren't left behind. And one of the legacies of this pandemic is to recognize the inequities that people are suffering from. At our best, we're looking out for everybody. And that's the type of Attorney General I'm going to continue to be, to serving all the people of Colorado. But we can't do it alone. Any of us who are elected depend on you. Our democracy is a team sport. Your ability to be engaged in whatever way you can as part of our party makes a difference. So I thank you for the honor to serve. I thank you for your engagement, and I look forward to this important work together as we face another important election cycle and defend our democracy together.
Hi, I'm Michael Doherty, and I'm the District Attorney for Boulder County. Welcome to the Obama Dinner, and I'm so excited to be with you tonight and to have the opportunity to speak with you for just a few minutes about the important role that district attorneys play in Colorado. As District Attorney, I'm committed to enhancing public safety, fostering trust with the community, and improving the justice system. We have a lot of work to do, but I'm so excited about the progress we're making in Colorado, particularly with the last election cycle bringing so many progressive, thoughtful, and innovative district attorneys into the fight. We're seeing more of restorative justice and diversion programs throughout the state of Colorado, more mental health diversion programs, drug courts, programs dedicated to helping people get back on their feet into a better place in their lives, as opposed to cycling in and out of the jail over and over and over again. That is a failed and broken cycle. And we've made a lot of progress in Colorado, although we still have a lot of work to do. But I'm also heartened by the recent verdict in the George Floyd murder trial, where those prosecutors worked tirelessly to make sure the murderer was held fully accountable, because no one is above the law. We have a lot of work to do in Colorado, and we as district attorneys are committed to being part of pushing for criminal justice reform and doing the right thing for our community. Thank you and have a great night.
Good evening, Colorado Democrats, and welcome to the 4th Annual Obama Gala. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Leroy Garcia, and I am the Democratic Senator for Senate District 3 representing Pueblo. It is thanks to the hard work of Democrats across the state and people like you who fought for the Democratic trifecta at the state legislature that I also have the proud honor of serving as the first Latino Senate President in Colorado history. Before I was President of the Senate, I was Senate Minority Leader, and that's why I don't take our current majority for granted. Thanks to the help of hardworking volunteers, campaign staff, and others, Senator Chris Kolker flipped Senate District 27, and now we are 20 members strong. With that 4-vote margin, we can continue to work on things that matter most to Coloradans, like law enforcement accountability, lowering healthcare costs, and Colorado's COVID-19 comeback. Because Colorado is blue all across the state legislature, we can make sure that Colorado doesn't return to the status quo, but rather that we build back a better vision for our state that uplifts all people. I want to close by thanking all of you tonight for your hard work on behalf of all Senate Democrats. Every text you send, every door you knock, every call you make matters and has gotten us to where we are today. Our next election is in 2022, and I want to encourage all of you to treat every seat up for election like it's a swing seat. This majority isn't something that we can take for granted, and we should legislate and campaign like every seat is up for grabs. Congratulations to all of the Obama Gala winners. Thank you everyone for all that you do, all the hard work. We couldn't do it without you.
We have to be proud of all the great work that our elected Democrats are doing in DC, all the way from there to all corners of Colorado, making life better for everyone. Our next senator, well, he is very new to DC. You see, he was recently chosen to replace our history-making vice president. Yeah, this man has made a bit of history himself. He was California's first Secretary of State who made elections more accessible while protecting the integrity of our elections.
Hello, Democrats. It is an honor to be with you today, virtually. But if I can be honest, I can't wait to visit with you in person, because nothing gets my energy up more than being in a room full of Democrats. I want to start by acknowledging and thanking your chair, Morgan Carroll. I also want to recognize my new colleagues and friends, Senators Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper. It's been a pleasure getting to know them and to already finding ways to collaborate on issues that are important to Colorado and important to California and important to our country. Now, I'm still relatively new to the Senate, so for those who may not know much about me, I want to share a little bit about my family, because it's my family's journey that feeds my passion for public service. And because I think my family's journey is simply representative of the millions of families across the country that are working hard to achieve their American dream. My parents came to the United States in the 1960s from Mexico. in search of a better life. For 40 years, my father worked as a short order cook. For the same 40 years, my mom used to clean houses. Hard work, honest work. On those modest incomes, they raised three of us. I have an older sister who's been an educator all her life. I have a younger brother who is a chief of staff to the Los Angeles City Council president. And yes, that makes me the middle child that happens to make an occasional headline. But I want you to stop and think about that for a second. In one generation, my family has gone from being immigrant cooks and domestic workers to me serving in the United States Senate, and the first Latino to do so in state of California history. Wow, the American dream is alive. That's the American dream that I was raised to believe in. And it's the same dream that my wife Angela and I are trying to instill in our three boys. But sadly, that American dream has been a little out of reach for far too many families, and that was even prior to COVID. And we know how devastating the COVID-19 pandemic has been, not just on the country, not just on our respective states, but in communities of color, especially amongst working families, especially. And so please know that we are working so hard to meet this moment. I'm actually very optimistic because we have a Democrat in the White House, a Democratic president who believes in science and trusts public health advisors. We have Democratic majorities in the House of Representatives and in the United States Senate. And it's these Democratic majorities that made possible the big, bold action that we know we need to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and what we're going to need to do to build for the future. We responded to COVID-19 when we passed the American Rescue Plan. Billions and billions of dollars being delivered throughout the country, helping struggling families, helping small businesses, helping state and local governments and schools reopen safely. But as we look to the future, we know that when we say build back better, that it must also mean building back more sustainably and building back more equitably so that everybody benefits from the economic recovery ahead. We have been struggling. We've been impacted through this once in a century global health pandemic. But hope and help is on the way. And colleagues, I think we're going to meet this moment because we're going to do what Democrats always do. We're going to keep organizing, we're going to keep mobilizing, and we're going to get the job done. That's what working families around the country expect and what they deserve. And so Colorado Democrats, thank you in advance for doing your part in 2022. It's been a pleasure to be part of today's program. Can't wait to visit with you in person. And thank you so very much.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. Let's move from a former Secretary of State to a current Secretary of State. At this point, I believe that Colorado Secretary is, well, probably a household name. She was on the news touting Colorado's superior election process every other day recently, and I was so proud of her. And when her efforts were not enough, well, our congressman from the 1st District was protecting us in DC as the other Coloradans on the last impeachment team. Colorado was well represented in making sure that 45 was held accountable. Please help me welcome two dynamic women, Secretary Jenna Griswold and Congresswoman Dinah DeGette.
Hello, Colorado Democrats. I'm Jenna Griswold, Colorado Secretary of State. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. Now, Colorado leads the nation when it comes to elections. In fact, we're considered the nation's gold standard of election. Through vote by mail for all, early voting, same-day voter registration, automatic voter registration, we allow Colorado voters the access that they deserve. And I was so proud to build on the access over the last 2 years serving as Secretary of State. Over the last 2 years, we've increased drop boxes by 55%. We increased voting centers. We set up statewide ballot tracks. And we partnered with key communities, including the 2 tribes in Colorado. And that has led to increased access and increased participation. In 2020, in the middle of the pandemic and with President Trump trying to tilt the elections in his favor, more Coloradans cast a ballot in our general election than ever before in any election in our state history. We also saw a 20% increase of tribal voting, and Coloradans really used the new access that we've put across the state. Now, we are seeing a wave of voter suppression across the nation. Hundreds of bills have been introduced in over 47 state houses to take away our right to vote. And Colorado needs to continue to lean in. We know that our access to voting shouldn't be dependent on a zip code, what party you belong to, or the state you live in. What we need to see is voter access, just like in Colorado, coast to coast. So thank you so much for everything that you do to safeguard and fortify our democracy. Our fight is not over, and I continue to look forward to working on these crucial issues with all of you. Thank you so much and enjoy your evening.
Friends, as I think about tonight's theme, Blue is Now, I think about the best Blue Day we've had this year, the inauguration on January 20th of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as our president and vice president. And I think about a wonderful highlight of that day, the inspirational poem by the young poet Amanda Gorman. And as I think about the words she told us so powerfully that day, I think about those as inspiration for the days, weeks, and months ahead. I want to share them with you now as we look forward. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what is just isn't always justice. And the dawn is ours before we know it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. Folks, as we move forward, let's commit ourselves to finishing that business. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
I am sorry, but I have just got to say, as women rock, we are the stuff, right? We are just it. Now, I'm not poo-pooing the men, but I'm just saying, honey, if you want to get it done, give it to a woman. We are brilliant, we're strong, we're beautiful, and oftentimes we are more courageous than even we know. Up next, a truly courageous individual and the recipient of the Chairs Award. I'm talking about the Honorable Evie Hudak. She's going to be followed by our house band, Chris Daniels and the Kings. Hey. And the winner of our Outreach Award, well, that's a woman who has been fighting for the disenfranchised for years. That's Lorena Garcia. Welcome, please.
It's a great honor to receive this award. It's especially meaningful to get it from my former colleague in the state Senate, Morgan Carroll. It was almost exactly 33 years ago that I got involved with the Colorado Democratic Party when I went to my very first caucus. Since then, I've worn many different hats in the party and worked on many campaigns, and I still do. In the early 90s, I put my name on the ballot twice for the legislature when virtually no Democrat in Jefferson County could win. But in 2000, I was able to turn my seat on the State Board of Education blue. After that, I co-founded the Democratic Education Initiative, and I'm still one of its officers. In 2008, I won a seat in the state Senate and kept that blue. I made a really big sacrifice for the party in 2013 by resigning to prevent a recall election that could have taken the majority away from us. Because of my resignation, we were able to keep all the gun safety legislation that we had passed in 2013. And we kept in place the law providing universal mail-in voting in Colorado. Being an active Democrat has been a great way for me to make the world a better place. I'm so lucky to participate.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. This is a great fundraiser. We're glad you're here. A little more music from the house band, Chris Daniels and the Kings, and the incredible Mr. Freddie Gowdy. Oh yeah.
When I hear this rock and soul music,
I just have to say thank you so much to everyone who voted for the Obama Awards. I want to say thank you to the Colorado State Democrats and thank you to all of you who are here tonight. And I also want to just acknowledge the fact that, especially with an outreach award, you can't really give it to one person because true and effective outreach is done with a community. It's done with a team. And that is what we have. We have a community, we have a team, and that is why we have been so effective in reaching people all across the state. We're still reaching folks around rent control in Colorado, around making sure that we can stop evictions, around protecting our unhoused neighbors, around immigration reform. And that's only because we continue to reach people in Colorado. And so really this, while it's my name on this really goes to every single person who has been on our team because that's who really deserves this. Thank you.
Hola a todos, solo quería hablarles la importancia inmensa es de financiar nuestros planes ganadores. A través de tu generosa donación podemos contratar organizadores de campo en todo el estado, registrar votantes y asegurar nuestra victoria para el 2022. A quienes ya han donado, te lo agradecemos de todo corazón. A los demás, por favor, si pueden contribuir, sería un gran, inmenso regalo hacia nosotros. Además de eso, gracias por estar con nosotros hoy y que las pasen súper bien.
Don't put your wallet away just yet, because if you miss that QR code, well, you will have another opportunity to give, right? You heard me say give. You got to give. Your support means the party can continue to organize and mobilize and win. Win. So all of these challenges we are facing, we can undo some of the craziness it seems like it's taking place in these United States of America. So I'm gonna keep it pushing for now, but do not put your wallet away. Our next guest is one of the newest members of the State Board of Education. I'm talking about Dr. Carla Esser. She will be followed by our Democrat of the Year and former impeachment manager. That's right, 3 of our Congresspeople have been on the impeachment team. Congressman Jason Crow. Welcome them all, please.
Good evening. My name is Carla Esser, and I'm a member of the State Board of Education for CD7. Colorado is fortunate to have a Democratic majority on the state board right now. I'm joined on the State Board of Education by our chairwoman, Dr. Angelica Schroeder, Dr. Lisa Escarzaga, and the Honorable Rebecca McClellan. The state board has had difficult work during this pandemic, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. The American Rescue Plan includes the ESSER funds, amounting to $1.16 billion for our Colorado public schools, which have chronically been underfunded. These ESSER funds will be dispersed directly to school districts through the Colorado Department of Education, and you can see that formula on their website. All stakeholders in education will need to work together to assure that this generous funding is spent to produce lasting, inclusive excellence in our public schools. Thanks.
Hi, Colorado Democrats. Jason Crow here. Thank you so much for this amazing award. I'm just honored to be named the Democrat of the Year alongside my friend and our great leader, Governor Jared Polis. And listen, this is everybody's award. This past year has seen just unbelievable challenges, the divisions, the threats to our democracy, to our vulnerable brothers and sisters in our community. What has kept me going is working with all of you to make sure that we're standing in the breach, that we're defending our democracy, that we're standing shoulder to shoulder, fighting back against all of the challenges and staying up for those who need us to help fight for them and to be their voice. So thank you. I'm just beyond honored. The work never ends, as we know. So I look forward to continuing to champion this work alongside all of you in the months and the years ahead. So thank you. Be safe, be well. And I look forward to doing one of these in person sometime soon.
The heroism of Congressman Crow on January the 6th cannot be understated. I was so proud and at the same time so moved by those who tried to do good in the face of such evil and it was rancor, quite frankly. But I, for one, will never forget that day and who was on the right side of history. And who was it? Who was not? I think of many people will remember that. Our next guest helped us achieve a slim majority in the United States Senate, and we want to keep that number growing. Talking about Colorado's former mayor, Colorado's former governor, that would be United States Senator John Hickenlooper. He will be followed by our second Rising Star awardee, Eman Joda.
Hello, Democrats. I am so disappointed that we're not able to celebrate this evening in person, but I'm really looking forward to the impending light at the end of the tunnel with this awful pandemic, when we'll be able to gather again face to face instead of always virtually. But we're not there yet, but we are getting there. Now, before I go any further, I want to take a couple minutes just to extend my personal gratitude to each and every one of you for all you did to help me get elected to the US Senate. We would not have been able to flip this Senate seat and control the entire US Senate to blue without you. So thanks. It's been a little more than 100 days since the new Senate was sworn in, and less than 100 days since the new administration began. And I think we can all agree that our Democratic majorities have demonstrated what responsible, effective leadership looks like. March, we passed and signed into law a sweeping COVID relief package, one of the most progressive bills in a generation. The American Rescue Plan supercharged our vaccine distribution, dedicated billions in aid to workers and small businesses that have been harmed by this pandemic. And we're already seeing the impact of this aid on the ground in Colorado and across the country as more and more people get vaccinated. The faster we can get shots in arms, the faster our economy will be able to get going again. The American Rescue Plan also included an expansion of the child tax credit, a landmark provision that will lift millions of kids out of poverty, including nearly 60,000 in Colorado alone. No lawmaker has worked harder on this provision, and no lawmaker is more responsible for this amazing expansion than our very own Senator Michael Bennet. He has been advocating for this type of change for well over a decade. And I think that's the type of relentless dedication that makes Senator Bennet an invaluable member of our Colorado congressional delegation. And it's why the work that we all do here on the ground over the next 2 years is going to be so important to keep him advocating for kids and families in the US Senate. The American Rescue Plan is a type of big thing we can do when we elect Democrats to Congress and state legislatures across the country. And we're not done yet. We're going to continue to use our Democratic majorities to tackle our most pressing challenges, including climate change, immigration, and infrastructure. I mean, voters made their voice clear last November, and we are poised to deliver on their demands. So thank you again for all you do for our party. Our country is so clearly the better for it. Thanks so much.
I want to thank the Colorado Democratic Party for this Rising Star Award. It is incredibly humbling to receive this award this evening, knowing that our party values diversity in our representation. While I may be the first Palestinian and the first Muslim ever elected in Colorado history, I certainly won't be the last. Working to deepen our bench, empower young girls of all backgrounds to feel they have a right to be in spaces where decisions are being made, not simply to be a box to be checked or a warm body in the room, but rather to influence and dictate policy, represent community, and practice their human right to be in these spaces. Again, I want to thank the Colorado Democratic Party for this award and this honor, and I look forward to taking Colorado into the future for all people.
Thank you all. That was absolutely beautiful. And thanks so much to Vida Lance Brown. I am so proud of you as well. And again, all of the leadership that we have seen here tonight has been phenomenal. If you didn't know it, I want you to know that representation matters. You've heard from so many different individuals this evening, lots of different cultures represented, lots of different ethnicities. We have learned representation matters even more so over the last 4 years. Now, our next special guest is the first ever Democratic Latina governor in the country. She is increasing investments in education and in high quality job creation. She is the former chair of the U.S. Congress, or I should say U.S. Congressional Hispanic Caucus. I want you to give a warm welcome to the former governor, I should say the governor of our neighboring state. I don't want to demote the governor, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Hello, Colorado Democrats. What an honor to be included in your incredible event. And you've had so many remarkable speakers tonight. I really want to focus on the power of making sure that all of our democratic efforts to elect Democrats up and down the ballot, and to really focus on our efforts for mayor's races around the country right now. We've got a governor's race in Virginia and in New Jersey. Then we've got 36 additional gubernatorial races on the map in 22. That your efforts tonight will build the kind of momentum that allows us to keep moving this country forward. And certainly it's not lost on any of you, and certainly not me, that we just celebrated Earth Day. I had the incredible honor of being the only governor who participated in President Biden and Vice President Harris's International Climate Change Leaders Summit. And we all talked about the power of state partnerships, the efforts that we have all made towards incredible renewable energy goals and zero carbon emissions in every single sector, including Colorado and New Mexico's oil and gas sectors, and moving robustly towards making incredible improvements in our transportation sectors. Colorado and New Mexico worked incredibly hard on greenhouse gas emissions, and New Mexico adopted Colorado's approach in methane rules for methane emission reductions. And now Colorado and New Mexico lead the country in methane emission reductions and leading rules to make sure that those efforts are realized. In dealing with this existential threat, every state, every Democrat, every leader, every governor has to have the tools to make sure that we can make the kinds of differences that not only the planet deserves, but certainly this country ought to be in a leadership position. And the last thing I want to say is Build Back Better is going to give us not only those infrastructure investments, but the innovation tools we're all going to need. And I can't wait to see what Colorado and New Mexico do next.
Thank you so much, Governor Grisham. And Build Back Better is exactly what we are lucky to have, and you be a part of that. So thank you so much. You are not going to want to miss our next performers, because did you know that Colorado has our own Amanda Gorman? Our next presentation features 18-year-old Colorado State poetry champion, Kaya Cockrell. She wrote a poem, What We Shall Overcome. This is so phenomenal because she wrote this especially for the gala. The choreography and dance for this feature were created by co-artistic directors of Move West, and the score was composed and recorded by Sandy Alt. The breathtaking videography is by Colorado's own ROX production team. So I want to tell you, following Movement West and Young Kaya, we will have a person who represents one of the youngest districts in the state, Speaker of the House, Alec Garnett. But first, get ready to have your socks knocked off.
What we shall overcome. Our beautiful America. She has brought ideals of justice and liberty as we have taught to take a stand against bigotry and defend what is defined as opportune land, slowly sewing together each strand of person that makes America truthful. She is a beacon of discovery, of healing and recovery. America holds you in the palm of her hand and, with a torch in another, exclaims, let freedom ring in this country like no other. Screams, let freedom mean welcoming the other. Claims that freedom mean difference despite coexistence. Shouts, let freedom aim at raising proper government. Mouths, we need transformations and transitions. We need a way to vote with the citizens mentioned. Let our state be determined by the excited who await to see a face they can relate to. And let us challenge our flaws and negotiate leaders properly with a system dedicated to its citizens called democracy. Our country shall hold while in this form. Now we should know the power of enduring the storm comes from leaders of our nation demonstrating integrity, clarifying the dissonance in search of harmonies and melodies that create our country's grace note. It equates the quality of life meaning, a take at equality for race and our new record-breaking faces that took oath to be best for our nation with their hands on their hearts at inauguration. As we stare in contemplation of what such a new beginning holds, history is ever changing, never remaining still, as Amanda Gorman articulated our climb on such a hill, and we march on through this country that we share as we learn that being equal isn't the same as being fair, as we constantly adapt and overcome, because I see a bright future where we fought for progress and we've won, where we learn about the issues that we shall overcome. And freedom rings, we scream it enthusiastically from our lungs. Although malicious wills exist and a current gap of equality may be true, we as a nation will persist, now that the future is blue.
Hi everyone, this is Alec Garnett, Speaker of the Colorado House of Representatives and proud representative of House District 2. When I started in the legislature 6 long years ago, the House chamber was split by party nearly right down the middle. Now we have an overwhelming majority and we've accomplished a lot. We've passed widespread COVID relief, expanded healthcare access, and fought for common sense gun safety legislation. We've also stopped cold Republican attempts to undermine our voting system, destroy access to reproductive health care, and to legalize discrimination in Colorado. Next year is going to be a challenge. With Colorado's ongoing redistricting process, we don't exactly know what the districts are going to look like. Our strong majorities ensure that we can get bold proposals across the finish line, like our lost and stolen and safe storage common sense gun safety proposals, which promote responsible gun ownership and save lives. We also are hard at work on bills to lower costs for healthcare, bring about more options on the health insurance marketplace, and finally begin to address the skyrocketing costs of prescription drugs. Without a doubt, the main event of the legislative session will be our $800 million state stimulus package. The series of bills are designed to strengthen small businesses, revitalize our infrastructure, support Colorado families, and invest in rural Colorado. This, along with the federal funds that we're carefully dispersing to industries, families, and small businesses across the state, will help us build back stronger. Our 41-seat majority isn't just a road to progress. It's a steadfast line of defense against some of the terrible Republican bills we see every year. In short, my friends, majorities matter. In the past couple of years, they've been turbulent and unprecedented, but I know working together that we can continue to fight for Coloradans next year and continue to win majorities. Thank you for everything that you've done, and thank you for everything that you've already committed to doing next year.
If we didn't know before, let me just say this. We certainly know now, majorities definitely matter. All three of our next guests have served in the minority and in the majority, and they can attest that not only do elections matter, representation matters, but who is in power matters, especially for working families. Our next guest is a friend here in Colorado and one of the major sponsors to the most sweeping criminal justice reform bill in recent memory. Talking about Senator Cory Booker. He will be followed by our Democrat of the Year, Governor Polis. Yeah, Colorado's governor, Jared Polis, and one of the hardest working people in the Congress, that would be Colorado's own Congressman Ed Perlmutter. Ooh, it's a whole bunch of Colorado's own. Please, let's welcome them all.
Hello, Colorado Dems. It's Cory Booker. I cannot tell you how grateful I am by your commitment to keep on going, our organizing, our efforts, the ignited energy of Colorado Dems, partnered with Americans all over this country, has helped to create transformative change here in Washington. We are in the majority in the Senate. We have Biden, Harris in the White House, and we are in the majority in the House of Representatives. That together is creating historic change. We are already seeing right now, in the midst of this crisis, as we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we're seeing historic efforts that are doing everything from cutting child poverty in half with our expansion of the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit, all the way to the proposal now of what could be historic investments in our environment, our infrastructure, and our families. Dems are not just a party, we are a movement. It is this belief that when we work together, stand together, we can create transformative change when we invest in one another. The Democratic Party is the party of we, not the party of me. The party of inclusion, not the party of exclusion. It's the party of civil rights and voting rights and LGBTQ rights and women's rights and workers' rights. It's the party of Social Security and Medicare. It's the party that said we can go to the moon and we can also radically transform outcomes for our children by providing them with great public schools. We know who we are. We have a mission. It ain't over yet. So thank you for continuing to push forward, continuing to organize, mobilize, and to make sure that we can make our nation live up to its promise to be a nation of liberty and justice for all. And by the way, thank you for having the back of my brother, Michael Bennet. Wish you all the best. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. You know, it doesn't seem like that long ago that I was honored to receive the Rising Star Award. Never in my dreams at that point did I ever think that I would have the honor to serve our state as governor. I can't tell you what this award means to me. After the year that we've all had, 6,000 Coloradans lost, most recently the tragic shooting in my hometown of Boulder. This has been a tough year. But standing with us every step of the way have been our amazing Democratic state legislators, elected officials across the state. And I just want to let you know how much this means to me, that I've had the opportunity and the challenge to govern during one of the most difficult and darkest hours in Colorado's history. And I deeply appreciate the Democratic Party support. And now it is a great honor for me to be the Democrat of the Year.
Good evening, Colorado Democrats. What a star-studded affair we have, and we have a lot to celebrate. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the White House, a Democratic Senate, a Democratic Congress. We maintain the majorities in our state legislature, and Democrats hold all 4 statewide offices. So we have a great opportunity to do good things for America and for Colorado. Good things like passing the American Rescue Plan, which helps the physical, mental, and financial health of all Americans. Good things like passing legislation to stop senseless gun violence. And good things like passing legislation that makes sure that all Americans get to vote. Now, it's going to take a lot of effort for us to maintain the majority in these offices that we enjoy. We know that the Republicans are going to work like crazy to take these offices and these majorities away from them. But I know your work the work that put these majorities in place, that elected Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, will continue, and we will continue to do good things for all Americans and for Coloradans. So enjoy tonight, celebrate. We have a lot of work to do starting tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Senator Booker and Congressman Perlmutter. You know, Governor Polis has done an amazing job dealing with this pandemic. Not always making the most popular choices, but definitely making the best ones for all considered. They were tough choices, no question, but he made them. He deserves Democrat of the Year. Our next guest is also a Colorado favorite. She has been fighting for consumer rights and working families her entire life. I'm talking about Senator Elizabeth Don't Mess With Me Warren. She will be followed by our Volunteers of the Year awardees, ROX Productions, who also volunteered to help us out with tonight's program.
Hello, Colorado Democrats. I sure wish that we could do this in person, but we know that's just not possible. Even so, I wanted this chance to be with you to say a big woohoo thank you to some of the hardest working Democrats in the entire nation. Because of your courage and persistence, Colorado went blue in 2020. And now, with a Democratic White House, a Democratic House, and partly thanks to you, a Democratic Senate, help is on the way for millions of Americans. If you need proof, look no further than the American Rescue Plan. Strong, progressive relief for millions of middle class, working class, and poor families all across our nation. Now, there are a lot of pieces to this plan, a lot of pieces that I love, but I want to focus just briefly on two that Democrats should be shouting from the rooftops. First one, child care. Before the pandemic started, we were already in a child care crisis in America. But with the pandemic, we've gone from the frying pan into the fire. Families are getting crushed, and the squeeze is particularly tight for women. So last April, Senator Tina Smith and I teamed up and we made a plan to help tackle this crisis. We'd invest $50 billion to stabilize the child care system, to keep providers in business, and to allow parents to go to work when it is safe. It was an uphill fight, but Tina and I just kept right on pushing. We got smaller chunks of child care relief in two different COVID relief bills. And now with the American Rescue Plan, we are all the way to that $50 billion goal for child care. It will make a real difference for families. And it's part of our basic infrastructure just to keep our economy going, just like roads and bridges. And I'll keep fighting until we achieve universal child care for all of our babies. And here's the second piece, laying the groundwork to cancel student loan debt. Now, student loan debt forgiveness would be another huge boost for our economy. But some naysayers had been saying that cancellation would surprise borrowers with massive tax bills. So Senator Chuck Schumer, Senator Bob Menendez, and I made sure that this relief bill takes care of that problem by making student loan forgiveness debt-free. This change clears the way for the Biden-Harris administration to use their authority to cancel $50,000 in student debt, which would provide a massive stimulus to our economy, help narrow the racial wealth gap, and lift an impossible burden off tens of millions of families. And we're staying in the fight all the way to make that happen too. Let's be clear, our work isn't over. It's up to us to deliver for the American people and to deliver big. So I'm going to keep fighting with everything I've got to turn the tide of this pandemic, to help our economy build back better, to advance racial justice, and to tackle climate change head on. But we learned a long time ago that nobody makes it on their own. So I hope you'll find new ways to get in the fight too. Volunteer your time, pitch in $5, let your friends and loved ones know that Democrats are out there fighting with and for them. And let's make sure that we keep Colorado blue up and down the ticket in 2022. Now is the time for all of us to get in this fight, because here's what I know for sure. If we stand together, if we fight together, if we persist together, we can create the America of our best imaginations. Thank you.
Hello, Colorado. My name is Tyler McDermott, and I'm the State Field and Training Director for the Colorado Democratic Party, and I'm coming to you today with an urgent plea. Over the last few years, Democrats have had a ton of success up and down the ballot, but by no means should we stop or slow down now. In fact, we've only grown more ambitious with what we can accomplish together, including hiring full-time year-round organizers to work in all communities across the state and providing them with the tools and resources they need to be successful. But all that costs money, which is why today I'm urging you to please donate to the Colorado Democratic Party so we can continue to make Colorado a better and bluer place together. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't get a chance to get that QR code? Don't you worry. You know I got you. There's one in the Gala program book that you received with your email reminder. So, you're welcome. Because I'm reading your mind. That's what we do. Our next guest was one of the highest fundraisers of the 2020 cycle. He ran a remarkable campaign, and now we have him as our own Democratic National Committee Chair. He will be followed by Congressman Crow and our Lifetime Achievement Awardee, Secretary Ken Salazar.
Hello, Colorado. Thank you for allowing me to be with you virtually tonight, and I hope to meet you all in person very soon. And thank you to Governor Polis, Senators Hickenlooper and Bennett, the Colorado Democratic Congressional Delegation, and all the other elected Democrats for all of your tireless work on behalf of the people of Colorado and the Democratic Party. Gatherings like this make me feel optimistic about the future of the Democratic Party, and most importantly, the future of America. Because of your efforts, we thankfully have leaders in place to help end this pandemic. We have leaders like President Biden and Vice President Harris putting the country back on track. We have leaders like your incredible chair, Morgan Carroll, and Vice Chair Howard Chu. I want to recognize all of the great work that they are doing to support Democrats across the state and to keep Colorado trending blue. At this moment, you have more Democrats elected than any other time in state history. And together, we're not only going to protect that progress, we're going to build on it. Before I continue, I also like to take a moment to recognize the recent passing of former Vice President and progressive champion, Walter Mondale. We are the party that looks forward, and with every breath, he was pushing us to blaze new trails. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'd like to tell a little bit of my story. I'm the son of a single mother from Orangeburg, South Carolina. We lived with my grandparents, and even though we didn't have much, we always had our values. I was taught that hard work, integrity, and commitment to service would take me far in life. And those are the values that will guide me as chair of the Democratic National Committee. The Democratic Party has always stood for values and virtue. We've always stood for opportunity, safety, and hope for a better future. Voters around the country, and especially in Colorado, have always recognized that about our party. That's why we were able to put the past 4 years behind us and elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as President and Vice President of the United States. That's why Colorado Democrats hold both U.S. Senate seats. That's why we hold a majority of U.S. House seats. That's why we hold nearly every statewide office and majorities in both legislative chambers. And that's why we are coming for the rest. We have been successful because of one fundamental difference between the parties. We understand the hopes, dreams, and fears of the people of this country, and the Republicans don't. We understand that folks in this country don't want words. They want action. It's as simple as that, folks. And the people of Colorado, they recognize that Democrats are the ones who show up and we deliver. Last year, we were able to walk back the mistakes of the past 4 and right so many of the wrongs. And since President Biden took office and Democrats took charge, we have renewed our country's commitment to tackling climate change, designating much needed funding toward research and technology that will help us combat its impacts on our communities and save countless lives. We have strengthened Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, increasing the number of insured Americans in a time when healthcare coverage couldn't be more important. And through the Biden administration's quick action and the backing of a Democratic Congress, we signed the American Rescue Plan into law, which is the most consequential legislation for working families in modern history. In Colorado, that's meant financial help for over 80% of all adults and children in the state. It means lifting 57,000 children out of poverty. It means getting our kids and teachers back in the classroom, and it's meant over 200 million vaccinations in arms in the president's first 100 days. Leading up to an election, your amazing team of organizers and grassroots volunteers reached an impressive milestone: 10 million calls to voters across Colorado. Despite having to adapt to challenges of a pandemic, you all worked tirelessly to reach out to over 96% of registered Democrats and 81% of registered unaffiliated voters. You all held over 400,000 conversations with Colorado voters and recruited thousands of volunteers across the state, with over half volunteering for the very first time. Thanks to you, we have seen so much progress in such a short time. But my friends, now is not the time to get comfortable, because now the real fight begins. We have to work hard to re-elect state leaders like Governor Polis, Attorney General Weiser, and Secretary of State Griswold. We have to work hard to send Michael Bennet back to the U.S. Senate in 2022. We have to work hard to expand our majorities in Congress and the Colorado State House so that we can continue to build back better. As DNC chair, I wake up every day humbled by the weight of the position I hold, helping to lead a party that is responsible for so much positive change in this great nation of ours. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have you all by our side as we strive to make the next day brighter than the last.
Hi, good evening, Colorado Dems. So good to be joining you virtually. I know we're all excited to get back together in person when we safely can, and I feel like that moment will not be too far off in the future. But I just wanted to join and send a message of thanks for all that you do. You all are the heart and soul of this party. The tremendous work, the endless hours that you put into canvassing, door knocking, phone banking, building the ecosystem that help our candidates win up and down the ballot. We truly could not do it without you, because what we know is that as a party, we have great policies, great ideas, we know how to lead, we know how to govern, but people need to hear our story. They need to hear about what we're trying to do to fight for them and their families, not the special interests. And it's all of you that help tell that story, and we just could not do it without you. But here's the deal. The work never ends, as we know. The fight continues, cycle after cycle, and we can never get complacent, and we can never sit back and relax, because the other folks aren't. The special interests definitely aren't relaxing right now. The 2022 midterms are going to be tough. I'm just going to lay it out there. It's going to be tough. We have to work really hard to keep the House majority in Congress, to make sure we're keeping our majorities in the State House in Colorado. And you all are going to be helping us do the work to do that. So thank you for everything you do. Let's keep going. Let's take our rest and take care of ourselves when we need to. But let's get ready to continue that work, telling that story and working for the people of Colorado and for this country. So thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Colorado Democrats. I am honored and humbled by this recognition. In 1998, I was elected Colorado Attorney General. And at that time, I was the only person for the Democratic Party who sat in any of the statewide offices. And today, we have a governor who's a Democrat, our two wonderful US senators, our wonderful congressional delegation, a General Assembly where both the House and the Senate are now in Democratic hands. It's been an amazing journey. We have come a long ways. And I remember my motto in all the campaigns in my life about fighting for Colorado's land, water, and people. And it's embodied in the Democratic Party, the party of an inclusive America. We are a party that gives voice to those who don't have a voice. And for all those reasons, I'm just so proud of the Democratic Party. And I can tell you that without all this effort here in Colorado today, you would not have a Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as President and Vice President of the United States. It started here in Colorado. We are the gateway to the kind of perfect union that we are all marching to create. I'm honored and humbled, and I thank you for the award.
We are the voice of the voiceless. Our final guest gave a voice to the voiceless and the underrepresented and those who are many times overlooked. She did it when she was the district attorney. She did it when she was the attorney general. She did it as a United States senator. And now, well, her voice is louder than ever. Please help me give a warm Colorado welcome to our history-making Vice President of these United States, Kamala Harris.
Hello, Democrats. I want to start by thanking you. 2020 was quite a year. In the middle of a devastating pandemic, well, Democrats, you called and you texted and you zoomed into rallies. And though you may not have traveled to Wisconsin for our convention, you created the best roll call America has ever seen. With your help, we held on to the House of Representatives. Because of your work, we won back the Senate. And your hard work elected President Joe Biden and me, who are now hard at work in the White House today. So thank you. And let's remember, winning an election is just the first step toward progress. Now, we must govern. And that's exactly what we are doing. Already, there are millions of shots in arms. Already, millions of checks have gone directly to American families. And support has gone to schools and small businesses and communities across our country. And now, we are calling on Congress to pass our American Jobs Plan, a plan that will rebuild our nation, transform our economy, and put millions of Americans to work in good jobs. This is what I call American aspiration, that ability to see what can be, unburdened by what has been. That determination to do, not just to dream. Even in hard times, and especially in hard times. Democrats, the president and I, well, we need your help once again. Let's get the American Jobs Plan passed. It will be a victory for our entire nation. And we look forward to working with you, as we always do, for America. Thank you, and take care.
Wow, well, hard to follow that, but thank you, Madam Vice President, for joining us in Colorado. And thank you to all of you, our state party officers, our county party officers, all of our candidates, electeds, the artists, precinct organizers. I want to leave my last word with a call to action. There are literally dozens of things that we need to do and can do right now. And the right fit for you depends on what you're passionate about and where you live. But I guarantee we have a project for you right now that fits into the bigger 2-year win plan that we have already created in the Colorado Democratic Party. Karen Asensio is our volunteer coordinator. Her email is Karen with an I at coloradodems.org. You can also sign up through our website at coloradodems.org. And this is the work that we need to do now. Anything you want to know about where we are and how you can best plug in, please do reach out to us, because this is the final call to action. It's been a ton of fun seeing everybody tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I know if we keep working together like we have done to deliver miracles so far, we will be able to do anything and everything together. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much for coming out and supporting the Democratic Party. This is so important that you're doing this. Blue is now. Thank you for having us. We're called Chris Daniels and the Kings. My good buddy, Mr. Freddie Gowdy. It's time to get up and jump. Saying so, hell never let her. I'm in the zone. I am knocking on her door before she drops the phone. Saying, pretty baby, I'm yours alone. And when she says jump, 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 I say, baby, how high, high, high. Oh, when she says jump, 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 I say, how high, high, high. Jump, boy, baby, I wish I could fly. Oh, now look here, baby, I ain't just running these scales. I could have made a few calls, made some sales, but your sweet love would keep me down on the farm. Out the saddle before we hit the barn. In the hayloft, rolling in my baby's arms. She said, jump, jump, jump. I said, darling, how high, high, high. When she says jump, 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 I say, how high, high, high. Jump, boy, baby, I wish I could fly. She's the boss. My motor's running, got my foot on the floor. About a minute, I'll be out the door. I'm driving, baby. Tell me where you wanna go. Jump, 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 my darling. How high, high, high. When she says jump, 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 I say, darling, how high, high, high. Oh, jump for you, baby. I wish I could fly. Now come on out here. She says jump, jump. Here's your part. Your part. How high, high, high. Oh, jump for you, baby. I wish I could fly.
Hey, what are y'all still doing here? Look, you don't have to go home, but you do have to leave. Drive safe and have a great night.